Hey, what up? What up? What up? Welcome back to another edition of the ATL 3 Style Live Podcast. I am the OG, one of your co-hosts here, man, and we got a good show for y'all today. Hey, look, before I can get into this thing, I got to kick it over to my other co-host here, man. Let's go to my man over there on the east side, man. What's up, Derrico?
What's going on, Leo G? What's going on, Baby Banks? It's another Friday. It's a little different, in ATL today, but we're going to let it roll what it do.
Yeah, man, got that snow day. What's going on, Banks, out there on the south side? What's up, brother?
How y'all feeling out there, Mr. Derrico, Mr. Leo? Yeah, it's the ATL snow. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, that snow day for everybody in that. Hey, bro, go out there and play in it, do what you got to do with it, because we ain't going to see probably another snow day for another 10 years.
Y'all know what it is, man. For real, we doing this on a Friday, man. We'll actually put this recording out tomorrow. So, hey, if you're stuck in the house, you know what I'm saying, fire us up, man. Listen to us, man, on Saturday morning as we get this thing in, man. So listen, fellas, we got a good show tonight, man. We got some surprises, man, and we're going to really kick this thing off talking about these Atlanta Falcons. But before we get into the show, before we get this thing started, y'all know we got to go to our partnership. Banks, you want to tell everybody about our boy out there on the east side, man? You got to unmute yourself.
That's my bad. Yes, check out my boy Phil at Eastland Woodworking Company. Any woodworking thing you need done, ashtrays, you need some coasters, some plaques on your wall, hit them up and hit that QR code for Eastland Woodworking Company. Tell them we sent you.
Hey, that's what's up, man. Eastland's Woodworking Company, our boy Phil out there. We'll put the QR code back on at the end of the show. We'll put it in the link. Also, man, can't forget about my boy Bachi out there, man, with BEZ, that moisturizing and conditioning beard spray. I got to shout out my boy Bachi, man. He been rocking with us for a minute, man. Y'all see it. And we'll give y'all the contact info here in a minute with BEZ. So, fellas, man, we got a big show tonight. We got some heavy hitters in the house tonight, man. I don't know if y'all ready for this, man, but we got some heavy hitters in the house, man. They do their thing on this podcast called the Water Boyz. And I know you guys familiar with them, man. I'm big fans of them, man. So we're going to definitely go ahead and bring them on in, man. You know what I'm saying, man? Major players in this podcast thing, talking about sports and everything Atlanta culture, man. Got to bring in my boy B Rich and my boy Trey from the Water Boyz podcast show, man. Trey, B Rich, what's going on, fellas?
What's up, fellas? What's up?
What it do, man? Glad to be on the show, man. What's up, Leo, Banks, and Derrico? What it do?
What's up, brothers?
How you feeling?
Man, we feeling all right, man. I'm a little under the weather, man. I was diagnosed with pneumonia on Saturday, so I'm recovering from that, man.
Well, dang, we appreciate you sliding through.
Speedy recovery, brother.
Man, I'm trying, man. Thank you.
Hey, man, that's what's up, man. We appreciate you coming on, man. Trey, man, definitely, man.
Yeah, B Rich over there coming out injured reserve, you know what I'm saying? Coming out injured reserve, man, with the asthma pump. So if y'all see him hit the asthma pump a couple times, just know he doing it for y'all, ladies and gentlemen.
That's what I'm talking about. Taking one for the team.
Hey, man, that's what's up, man. That's how we do, man. That's how we do, for real. So, fellas, man, listen. We doing this all about the Atlanta Falcons, man. The season just ended, and of course, man, we all are big fans of these Atlanta sports teams, man. But this is the flavor of the week, man. I guess definitely want to get into this Falcons thing, man, because y'all have talked to Falcons legends, y'all have talked to a lot of people, so I know y'all got a lot of insight into what's going on, man, with the Falcons, man. So we're just gonna start this thing off, man. I'm gonna kick it over here to Banks first, because I know he got a lot to say, man, and we'll definitely just go around and talk about our feelings about this season, man. Banks, the season has ended. It's 7 years. We have not been to the playoffs, man. Like, what happened, man? What in your mind, man? Just tell me what you're going through after seeing what we saw, man. This emotional roller coaster, starting out so well and then just finishing like just so flat.
Listen, man, frustration is an understatement. We leave one coaching regime and Arthur Smith just to come into another one, and it's almost the same results. I mean, I can't put my finger on it. I do not know why is it that we changed regime. Not just Arthur Smith. I mean, I'm going back to Dan Quinn. I'm going back to Mike Smith. It's the same song and dance, and I'm tired of it, bro. I don't know what we got to do. We got to burn some sage And that's, I mean, what do we have to do, man? I'm reaching for straws. I would do anything just to get something different around here. Like, I'm tired of seeing, well, the Falcons can't get to the quarterback. Well, the Falcons, we had a lead and we lost it. Well, I'm tired of that. I mean, it's the same thing, man. What is that? We change players, we change coaches, same results. I don't get it. I do not get it.
I don't either, man. It's kind of baffling to me because I feel you, Banks. It's like, when are we going to change the culture? Like you said, several coaches, and it feels like it's the same thing, man. We just can't get over the hump. I mean, we got all the way to obviously, I want, we did get to the Super Bowl, and we don't want to go back and relive what happened, but it just seems like we just can't never get this whole culture of getting over the hump and being the organization that we want to be, man. Trey, I'm going to kick it over to you, man. Same thing, man. You big fan. What is the deal with just these disappointing seasons, man? 7 years of not making the playoffs, man. And this is an organization that has been plagued, with just a lot. Almost 60 years as a franchise here, and not a lot to show for it, brother.
Man, well, this season in particular, man, I call this the Three Little Pigs season, right? I was thinking about this earlier, right? And I know that sounds crazy to some of y'all. But when you think about it, especially for the younger folks who don't know what it was about, when you think about the Three Little Pigs, it wasn't a story about the Three Little Pigs, right? It was a story about building you a foundation that would not get blown down in hard times. And the Atlanta Falcons, especially this season, we've done too many catchphrases, we've done too many swag surfs, and we walked in too many traps and said we take over traps instead of building a team and a season on substance. When are we going to build it on just a direct mindset of, look, we're going to put guys on the field who can get to the quarterback. We're going to come up with a scheme that we can put pressure on the quarterback. We're gonna stop going for sizzle every chance we get and get a unicorn tight end when we can find us another playmaker. Like, when you going to get, you got a coach who telling us, I'm going to make these guys believe in themselves. And when I get done with them, they'll be household names. Who? They might be household names now, but in a negative way, sir. Like, when are we going to build it on substance? And so I hope you, when you heard me say the Three Little Pigs, all of y'all that's out there listening, I hope you hear what I'm saying. It's about building a foundation that will not get blown down in hard times. And the Falcons have to put that together. You look at some organizations, no matter what goes on, they have certain things they do. I don't care who the coach is, who the players are. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they're going to get to the quarterback. They're going to be a tough team. The Baltimore Ravens, it don't matter who the quarterback is, who the coach is. They can switch players in and out. They build tough teams. Now, I'm not sitting there acting like either one of them have won a championship over the past 5 years, but when you see the product on the field, they have things that can sustain the hard times, and their doors do not get blown off when hard times come. And that's what we need out of our Falcons.
Hey, man, you said it. Hey, and you just said it, man. The blue-collar teams, I think, like the Steelers and the Ravens, they get it, man. Like you said, the foundation needs to be set. It's crazy. 60 years, you would have thought some type of mentality would have, took roots up there, but it just hasn't, man. I'm going to give it over to Derek Cole. Of course, we're going to get your thoughts on the B. Rich in just a second, man. Derek Cole, your thoughts again, man. What's going on? Another disappointing season, brother.
Hey, man, listen, Trey just done laid it down. So if we really want to, we can just shut the podcast down right now and just let that roll. Let that take replay. I mean, it's been the same MO. I mean, the thing that we've been saying for the longest is we have to start the mentality of building outside, inside out. And we've been doing the opposite, outside in. If we don't build the trenches on this team at some point during one of these organizational changes, we're going to keep going through the same insanity. And everybody know the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over. And I think that's what we are. We're just on a groundhog repeat. You know what I'm saying? This is a groundhog repeat. What's his name? Murray? The actor?
Yeah, Bill Murray.
Bill Murray.
That's exactly what I feel like when I wake up in the next season. That's why I got up here. What to say? Always next year? That's what it seemed like. Always next year. So if we don't get to a point where we build a tough defensive line, a tough offensive line, I don't think we're going to ever get where we need to get. So that's where we got to start. That's where our GM, whoever it be, we'll talk about that later. We need to start there. And that's just simple football. Simple.
Banks, we'll swing it back over to you in just a second, man. Be Rich, I want to definitely get your thoughts as well, man, because, I mean, I think we all feeling the same way, man, because we're so, financially and emotionally invested in this team, and we want to see them do so well. And it's like, can they not grasp the concepts of just, fundamental stuff to get this thing right, man?
Well, I give it 5 reasons to this season. Number 1, the signing of Kirk Cousins. Number 2, the offensive coordinator. Number 3, the defensive coordinator. Number 4, the defensive line. And number 5, the linebackers. All right, let's address them. The linebackers, we had decent linebackers, but we didn't have a linebacker that could cover field to field. We had running quarterbacks getting third and long all day long on us. We have to address that. The defensive line, with the free agent signing of Jadon, I really thought that was it, but obviously that 3rd round pick to solidify him, he wasn't shit. He really didn't do nothing this year to me to deserve a 3rd round pick. Grady Jarrett, he's getting paid top dollars. I love Grady Jarrett. I don't want to see him go, but he didn't play what his salary was. You know what I mean? The offensive coordinator, he's a new offensive coordinator. We got what we got. We saw what we got. You know what I mean? Defensive coordinator, last game of the year. Kirk Cousins, man. Great quarterback in Minnesota, came to Atlanta, and I just think he wasn't all the way there. He had a flat tire, and he didn't have enough gas in him, and he ran out. That's the Falcons season right there.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, definitely that's pretty much how it sums it up. Be Rich, you pretty much summed everything up into what happened, man. So listen, we're gonna look at it like this. I guess moving forward. Well, first, before we move forward, I want to say, like you said, Be Rich, there's several things that happen, but there's one, I guess, I don't know if we all think that there's one particular person, because I'm going to say what I feel. I feel like Raheem came in and sold us somewhat of a dream. I mean, I know you got to give people time, but, the plan was to have Kurt, an established quarterback, to kind of lead and do things. Terry had already been here, and he had been with another head coach. But going to pointing the finger of blame, I gotta say, I gotta go with Ra, because there were so many situations in this season where I think he kind of failed us. I think he kind of failed us as far as his, clock management. We could talk about that. I think he kind of failed us with, pulling the trigger on taking Kurt out, because, Kurt worked so hard to get back in, but he just didn't have enough left in the tank. He probably should have came out, way before he did. We probably could have made it into the playoffs if we would have threw Penix out there. I mean, there's a lot of different things, but I think when it all comes down to it, I think, I point the finger directly at Rob, because I think this was his vision. And Be Rich, I'll come back around to you. Banks, I'm going to come to you because I know you got a lot to say, man. But pointing fingers, I want to directly point this solely on, I know it's a collective, but I think that Rob kind of sold it coming in as the new coach and trying to do things and take the approach, bringing in two new coordinators. But if we have to point a finger, me personally, I'm pointing it directly at Rye. He's the one that's going to have to get some of this stuff cleaned up. But Banks, go ahead.
Well, you guys may not agree with me with this, but I'm not going with Ra. It shouldn't start with Ra. It starts with the owner, Arthur Blank. I'm blaming him. You know why I'm blaming him? I think he's the reason why we had Kirk Cousins in the first place. Like, this whole trying to win right now, I'm getting older, that narrative about, he wants to see a winner. That's all well and good. You can't stop all the time. I get it. You can't build a team on a quick fix. You just can't. You go out there, you build a team like Derek Cole on the inside out. You draft Penix, you take that money that you gave Kirk and you build the defense, and you just let the chips fall where they may. Build the team that way. You got a brand new offensive coordinator. Let him grow with your brand new quarterback. No, you brought in this broke down quarterback who came off an Achilles injury, who's 38, 39 years old, who's about to be 50 next year, and you gave him $180 million. Now, lo and behold, you in cap hell now. You can't do anything next year. because you still owe this man. And if you want to cut him, you're gonna have a cap hit of what, 60 million? Thanks a lot.
I don't know. Maybe Terry learned from Mickey Loomis down there in New Orleans, because they seem
I don't want to hear all that. I don't want to hear all that. Listen, it should never happen. Arthur Blank, I have to lay it on his toes. Look, at one point, when we're going to just sit here and just be patient, you're going to draft your quarterback, fine, build from there. You can't win tomorrow just by picking up a $180 million dream. I don't even know why. I mean, you had what's the guy's name? Sam Darnold, for instance. Gardner Minshew. You could have brought any of these guys in just to be the bridge for your quarterback. You brought in Kirk Cousins to win now, and he didn't win now. And we're in the same spot we was in when we had Desmond Ridder.
I mean, it's a lot of truth to that. And yeah, the buck does start with Arthur Blank. But like I said, I mean, things were brought to Arthur Blank, obviously, and he had to sign off on it. And that's the reason I said it was raw, because he was the new person into the picture and he brought all his people in. Terry was already here. I mean, collectively, they all had to say they was okay with this. B Rich, I'm gonna kick it back over to you, and then I'm gonna go to you, Derrico. This whole thing with the quarterback, man. B Rich, do you feel like, I mean, this was a collective thing, or do you feel like Ra was one of the main proponents in bringing Kirk in as a veteran quarterback, because we were so depleted for a quarterback after number 2 left?
Well, I think a lot had to do with Fontenot, McKay, and Ra, because I think Arthur Blank wanted to go with Bill Belichick, and he was talked out of it. But I will say this: the thing that frustrates me about Ra, we saw it the first game of the year. I mean, we had Caleb McGarry at the time. He was being blown away. We didn't make any adjustments. We just kept him one-on-one with TJ Watt the whole game to where he beat us in the game. So that was the first sign of like, Rod, what are you doing? Make an adjustment. He didn't make an adjustment. He sold me. Rod told us, hey, we signed Kirk Cousins to go to the playoffs. He said that out of his mouth. Hey, he signed to go to the playoffs. That's why he's here. That's what we're doing. We brought in Penix. 3 games, it should have been 4 or 5 games before that. And then during that time when he was asking him, they said, hey, we signed Kirk Cousins to take us to the playoffs. He didn't do it. Kirk Cousins, I like him as a person. He's a team guy. I think he helped Penix. Who's to say Penix wouldn't have done what he would have done from game 1? Matt Ryan did. Matt Ryan got it to the playoffs. But I will say this about the Falcons, y'all. I will say this about our beloved Atlanta Falcons. This team reminds me of the 2015 team when we first had Kyle Shanahan as the offensive coordinator, and we did good in the beginning. Roddy White and him fell out, had some issues, didn't make the playoffs. I feel like this is the same team, the same kind of direction we're going. I feel like next year we're gonna do a lot better. We're gonna make the playoffs. We got to. Hey, I do feel good though. We ended I disagree with Banks. It don't feel like when we had Ridder. It feels like we have a future at quarterback, and it feels like we have a real quarterback. So that's the difference between what you were saying, Banks. It ain't the same, because the last 3 games I was excited. I wanted to see the Panthers game. Even though we lost, I was happy. And I was happy that we lost, because when Tampa Bay lost, I figured we'll get a higher draft pick.
I was basically saying it was the same when Kirk Cousins was playing. Not when Penix was playing.
Yeah, for real. Mm-hmm. I mean, but let's keep it real, man. Like, something happened. Like, he surpassed Matt Ryan's record for most yards in a game. And it's like, from what I understood was he don't do good out the pistol, but we tried to keep him in the pistol. But I guess he couldn't move, so I don't know what the hell was going on with him, man. So
I don't know what happened. But I tell you what happened. After that New Orleans game, the whole team soul got sucked out. I mean, this was like a totally different team.
Put some voodoo on us.
I don't know what it was, but I can tell you this: that team was not the same team that started the season 6-3.
Nope.
Period. And as far as Kirk Cousins is concerned, I had my reservations about this. Boy, Leo, he'll tell y'all I don't like the, what ifs. You know what I'm saying? That don't work for me. But what I will say, is that I 100% agree with you, B Rich, that we have a quarterback. That's my shining armor right now, saying that I believe that this team can be what it can be based on the fact that we have a young stud back there at quarterback. Now, what we're going to have to do, those three people that y'all already named, Raw, Fontenot, and Blank, it's a group effort. It ain't just one person for me. They say they make collaborative decisions, so that means we're gonna put it on all of them. Ain't no one person making no decision. They've said it continuously that we work together, we make decisions together. So everything that was done as far as signing Kirk Cousins, signing Michael Penix Jr., all that was them, all of it. And please don't ever bring up that. I know it's got your name in you, but don't ever bring up Rich McKay's name again. I get some kind of thing. I just something just happens to me when I hear that dude's name.
Trey, man, your thoughts on just what happened kind of with the finger point, like I said, man, it's right. I mean, collectively, everybody's saying that, they all got, what I'm saying, their hands in this. I said just to point one finger, I said Rob, but obviously everybody else had their hands in this, right?
Man, yeah, everybody did have their hands in it. And I can see where Banks going with Arthur Blank. You know what I mean? Like Arthur Blank, the owner, end of the day, the buck stops on his desk. I mean, he signs the check. He could say, I'm not paying somebody, that kind of money to play quarterback. To B Rich's point as well, I think he wanted Belichick. The organization, the way they went about it would have been totally different. It would have been a complete 180 from what happened this year. I don't think they would have brought in Kirk. I'm not even sure they would have drafted Michael Penix. You know what I mean? In the top 10. I don't know which quarterback Bill would have went after, because I can't really put my finger on the type of quarterback Bill Belichick likes. But I don't know if Michael Penix seems to fit what I've seen Belichick go after. You know what I'm saying? He kind of up and down. I haven't really seen him I've never seen him take a top 10 quarterback. I mean, he took what's his name? Matt Jones or Matt Jones 15, but I don't know what he took. But I'll tell you this. This is why I'm gonna give Arthur Blank a little bit of a pass, Banks. I done said it time and time again. And I ask everybody, right? Be Rich know where I'm going with this. Fellas, have y'all been broke before? Have any of y'all been broke before? And I tell people all the time, if you've been broke before, when you come out of being broke, you say to yourself, ain't no way in hell I'm going broke again. Well, for the first time, however many years since Arthur Blank came up with a Home Depot a vest or whatever he put on his body, he felt broke. That man was quarterback broke. After Marcus Mariota and Desmond Ritter, boy, the funds were depleted. That man felt like everything was gone. He said, you know what? I'll never be broke again. Spend whatever you got to spend, since we ain't bringing in Bill. Spend, draft me a quarterback, do whatever we got to do to keep me from feeling this broke feeling again. And Rod was just sitting back like, yeah, let's do that, because I don't want to be like FedEx boy and get kicked up out of here because I don't got a quarterback. So Rod ran with it. The mistake they made is they went with somebody with a flat tire. They thought they were going to get the flat tire and the busted rim to work, and it did not. And shame on y'all for lying to us. Shame on y'all for lying to us. Shame on y'all for lying to us and telling us this man was completely healthy. You didn't want the man to play in the preseason because, number one, you were scared he was going to get hurt. And number two, you were scared teams were going to see how limited that man is. After that, your offensive coordinator run the pistol because you know your man can't drop back consistently in a play action like he's strong at. Man, stop it, Rob. Stop it. So I don't know who I want to put the blame on. I think I fall more with Derico, and I'm pointing at a couple more people. But I see why Banks mad at Blank. But please give him a pass, because that man ain't never felt broke. I don't think that man done felt broke since I was born. And I'm old as all outdoors at this point. That man been balling with Home Depot the majority of my life. And he didn't want to feel broke no more, Banks. With a name like Banks, you should understand that man wanted money in the bank on the field behind center. He didn't want to have it, Banks. He didn't want to have it.
All due respect, Mr. Trey. Hold on, Leo. I think he felt broke after the Michael Vick debacle. I think that particular instinct, what happened after that, we had to go with Byron Leftwich, and who was the older quarterback who was double head monster that year, Joy Harrington. I think that particular moment that year, he felt like, wow, we went from excitement to absolutely nothing. Thank God we had, Matt Ryan fall in our laps the way it did. But I think that was probably the first time he felt quarterback broke, because it was so abruptly and it was so sudden, to the point where not only his fan base fell apart, his coach walked away. It was a bad situation for Mr. Blank. That particular adversity that he had the first time.
But so look, let me say this. Hey, but look, let me say this. Look how the bounce back came. The bounce back came real quick. So you can fool when the bounce back come quick for you. You can fool yourself and think that the hustle is easy. And Blank thought the hustle was easy till he had to deal with Mariota 1 year, and after Desmond Ritter the second year, he was like, "Oh, this real. Oh, this real. I thought we could go right back into the draft like we did with Matt and get a quarterback. But this is real. I don't want to feel this. I don't know what this feel like. I bounced back last time. I ain't bouncing back now." So that's what I would say to that. The bounce back came too easy with Matt Ryan, and then he was faced with the realization that the bounce back don't come back around all the time.
Hey, y'all still talking about that flat tire, and all I could think about in my back of my mind when they was feeding us was Fix-A-Flat.
Hey,
they put some Fix-A-Flat in that boy tire. Yeah. Y'all know what happened when you put Fix-A-Flat in there.
What up, B. Rich?
hey, what happens, Derek? I'm gonna go. What happens when you put Fix-A-Flat? Shit,
Fix-A-Flat. Hey, boy, listen. Fix-A-Flat just a temporary solution to a problem, because that stuff just get in there, and when it start rolling, you start hearing it, because it's really a liquid. You know what I'm saying? You don't put liquid in a tire.
Hey, so look, I was gonna bring this up on our podcast today, but we were snowed out, so we didn't get a chance to do it. And I said in our group chat, but I got a real question for you guys. What if the Atlanta Falcons would have signed Matt Ryan this offseason instead of Kirk Cousins? Would he have done a better job?
No, I think so. Look,
why?
I'm gonna say, because I think the ship had sailed on Matt. I mean,
I think that he had a bad experience in Indianapolis. He didn't. He fell off, but the line wasn't there. I really wondered what he could have done this year. He would have done better than Kirk.
All due respect, Mr. B. Rich. All due respect.
Father Time is undefeated, man.
I think
Father Time. Listen. I'm gonna say this much here, man.
He would have done better than Kirk Cousins.
You might be right on that, but listen, Father Time is always undefeated, man. Father Time is undefeated. I think Matt Ryan, even though Matt Ryan didn't have a bad wheel he was coming off of, I still think that Father Time is undefeated. The game just kind of get past you, and I think the game had started to get past Matt, and we knew we needed to move. Now here's one of the things that I will say from my personal perspective is that we didn't really have a contingency plan. Everything was going so great when we had Matt. We've talked about this before, that we really never kind of looked in some of the drafts leading up. And to a point, it's like, okay, Matt getting old, what are we going to do? We were just going to try to ride that thing as long as we could. And to your point, Trey, it's like, hey, everything was kind of easy when I got this franchise. Like with Blank, he came in, he had Vic. Then we did have those few years where we kind of went into that quarterback purgatory, but we kind of pulled back out when we got number 2 in here, right? So it's like they didn't look past number 2. And then all of a sudden, now we're here trying to figure this quarterback thing out. Now we got Penix now. So hopefully this will give us some more time. Penix is young and he can do our thing. But fellas, I want to spin this since we brought up Bill Belichick, and I want to talk about something with you guys as far as culture is concerned with this city and with this franchise. And I'm gonna kick this over to you first here, Trey. They did say that Arthur Blank, had fancy Bill Belichick, and they was out on the yacht kicking it, and it was all but a done deal. And then all of a sudden, next thing we know, here come the press conference, and we just signed, we just hired Raheem Morris as the head coach. It's funny because it's like it's always tied to culture in Atlanta when we make decisions. And I say that because you can say a lot of different things when you talk about sports. We could talk about Trey and Luka Doncic, but just for this, since we're talking about the Falcons, Belichick and the culture here in Atlanta, do you think that has a lot to do with this city and this fan base as to why there was some apprehension in the front office with people maybe telling Blank that's not the move to go with? Because Belichick and the culture here in this city, I don't put like this here, I want to win. But Trey, does culture come into play when you start to talk about hirings and bringing fits into this city and the organizations here when it comes to sports?
I think with some people it may have. I don't think it should. Like I don't think you make a decision based strictly on the culture. You know, now we're in the city of Atlanta. We love our entertainment. I mean, it just is what it is. We want to see the team win, and we want to see the team win with some flair, man. We missed the Michael Vick experience. Like, and I'm a huge Matt Ryan fan, right? I'm one of the people who talk bad about Matt Ryan all you want. You won't get me to join in on your side in that conversation. But even during that time, it still wasn't the same when number 7 was under center, and we kind of missed that. So as fans, we yearning for that experience again, but at the same time, we want to win. The fans want to win, and we'll take it however it comes. Even if it's boring, we'll take it. So I don't think from the fans' perspective, we sitting around just would be against or opposed to being able to win, and it be kind of boring. And so I don't know if the owners are sitting back thinking about that when it comes to culture and it comes to the Bill Belichick situation. I don't even think that's what it was. I think it was a simple old, and we've been hearing it all our lives. It was a whole bunch of CYA. Cover your you know what. Them folk didn't want to get fired. Boy, Terry Fontenot knew that might have been him. Rich McKay felt like he might have got slapped by Bill Belichick. I don't know what they thought was going on in the building, but they were afraid for Bill Belichick to be given the keys because they knew things were 100% going to change, and a lot of people's heads were going to roll, and people who we don't know, names we don't know in the Falcons organization who've been there for years, probably were going to lose their jobs as well. Everybody was in a group chat. Everybody was on what's the done thing I'm thinking about? Everybody was on teams and they own little chats, and everybody on teams like, hey, we can't let this hooded dude get up in here. We cannot, because if he get up in here, my job might be gone. Your job might be gone. Look, we got to talk Arthur up out of this. And I think they went and talked to him. I think they made Arthur see that the repercussions or everything that was going to come from that hiring, he was going to lose a whole bunch of people that he cared about. And I think he went in a different direction. Now, would it have worked with Bill Belichick? I don't know. But I think it really was a CYA. They got on teams and they said, I don't want to lose my job. Let's talk Arthur up out of this. And essentially, that's exactly what happened.
B Rich, man, your thoughts on that? Do you feel like that's kind of how it went? Is the reason Belichick didn't come in here is because a lot of people were in fear?
Well, I will say this. I wanted to do the Belichick hire. The only negative was his age. That's what I was afraid of, his age. If he was a younger, 10, 15 years younger, I would have definitely been disappointed. One thing I did hear was that Belichick didn't think too highly of Fontenot. He said he thought he was arrogant and, was a little bit knew too much. So, I don't know why Arthur didn't cross those T's with that. But we are where we are. I do like Raheem Morris. I do like his attitude. I do like his ability to delegate. Hopefully he learned. Excuse me, y'all.
Take your time.
Hopefully he learned from that time management. I really feel like that Washington game did some damage to us. You know what I'm saying? Cost us from going to the playoffs. We would have had to win the Carolina Panther game, which I think we would have. But Penix showed out that game, man. So when he was on the pivot, I was sold, man. I was sold. Like Trey said in the beginning of his comment, he said he gonna make these household names, do this and do that. He said that on the pivot, y'all. Had me believing. So I'm still waiting for that. So I'm gonna give him one more year, see how next year come out. Like I said, I think it's gonna be like the 2016 Falcons, and hopefully he can take us to the Super Bowl, man. That's what I'm hoping.
That's what's up. So look, we're gonna bring it back on, man. I want to talk a little bit about some of the bright spots that we did see. Obviously, we done already talked about Michael Penix and how of a bright spot he is, but I want to talk about some of the other players on that were bright spots to look forward to. Because, like you said, B Rich, I'm with you. I do feel like there's a lot to look forward to moving forward. Because we got a young nucleus. We really do when you think about it. And yes, Banks, we know we don't have a lot of money to kind of bring in some other players, and we'll talk a little bit about this draft thing as well. But Banks, I'm gonna bring it over to you. Here, man, with the bright spots of this season. Because I'm gonna tell you what, man, looking at Bijan Robinson, it was only 2 dudes in front of Bijan Robinson this year that did better, and it was Saquon and it was Derrick Henry, and them 2 dudes are first ballot Hall of Famers, obviously. But Bijan was right there in his second season. Derrick, I'm gonna throw some darts at you because we had a wide receiver that at first you wasn't too keen on when we drafted him, but this man done turned into a true dog in Drake London out there. So, man, the future looks bright. Those are the two guys that I really, really enjoyed and loved. And I told my son, moving forward, if you get another jersey, it got to be one of them two, because he ended up getting a Kyle Pitts jersey, and I'm going to burn that sucker. But, Banks, I'm going to kick it to you, man. Your bright spots, the players that you felt like just did really, really well, and you feel good moving forward in watching this year.
Well, you stole my thunder there, Leo. Yes, it's Bijan. And I think Bijan carried, I felt some type of way when I saw him on the sideline. Someone pointed to my attention that he had some tears in his eyes, but I mean, he's a competitor, and I'm pretty sure he's not used to losing. I'm pretty sure he wants to win. But kudos to Bijan, bro. Number 7, you did your thing this year. You carried this team on your back. I can't say all the accolades to number 7. I gotta give some flowers to the offensive line for making it happen for you. I want to see progression. I want to see the offensive line get better. I'm not completely sold on them, but I do see progress. I'm not how I felt about the offensive line in the past. I was really disappointed in them. With all the Jake Matthews of the world, who I just felt like could be so much better. And he's just meh for me. He's just mediocre at best. But so far, this past year, and I will say this, I will give them their flowers. They did their thing. Pass block and run block, making them holes for Bijan. I wanted to see Tyler Algier get more touches. It wasn't in the cards. I got my theories about that, but I'll save that for another time. But Bijan, you did your thing, brother.
Hey, man, Derek, I'm going to give it over to you, man. Same thing, man. The bright spots on this team that you feel good about moving forward. And I'm sorry, I didn't want to neglect the defense. I know the defense really didn't do what we wanted them to do, because y'all guys, you all know how I feel about building the defense here, man. But I want to shout out AJ Terrell on the defense. That was the bright spot in my opinion. And AJ Terrell, for whatever it's worth, he's not a flashy guy. He doesn't talk a lot, but I feel like he's gonna be a solid cornerback for us for years to come on the defensive side of the ball. But Derek, your bright points on this team moving forward.
Well, since you brought up the defense, definitely gonna say AJ. Like you said, his whole persona is not what the NFL pundits like, because he's so quiet. He's not flashy. He's not talkative. You know what I'm saying? He's not that Sauce Gardner out talking. He's not that Jalen Ramsey talking. But the dude that's go out there this year, this had to be one of his best years to me as far as being a corner for the Atlanta Falcons. They weren't challenging him. And when they did challenge him, he had the PBUs to back it up. And he actually had an interception or two this year. That's one thing that he wasn't getting. So that's the part that I liked about AJ Terrell game. And we talked about the linebackers, but one linebacker for sure that he did his job, Caden Ellis. I'm telling you, they just need. I think the biggest problem with our defense is they didn't know how to use the players consistently. Like, I didn't like Judon being dropped back in coverage all the time. Like, why are you dropping his cat back? His job is go get the quarterback. That's what you signed him for. You didn't sign him to be a coverage linebacker. You didn't sign him to be a second safety. You signed him to go get the quarterback. So those are the things that I want to see differently. If it was my choice, I'd go find another defensive coordinator. Just me. But yes, you brought up number 5. I absolutely, positively, unequivocally said it was going to be a bad pick because I thought it was a soft because he was at USC. He proved me wrong. And I say it all the time. I'm a guy that like to, admit when I was wrong, and I was wrong about Drake. Drake is a dog. He get another guy on the other side of him that's a dog like him, and that offense next year gonna be like B. Rich said, it's gonna be like 216 because we ain't gonna have that fluff cake number unicorn. I ain't gonna mention his name off my mother team.
For sure, man. Like I said, man, I'm glad. Hey, look, because I was gonna hold you to that, Derek. Man, remember that draft night, man? And you was 30 hot when they picked that. When they picked him, it's like, man, what? What? USC, Drake, what? But this dude has turned out to be a world-class wide receiver, man, for real. And I think he's gonna do well here. Trey, man, I'm gonna pass it over to you, man. Like I said, we already talked about Michael Penix, and we'll get into him a little bit more here in just a second. But the other guys around Michael Penix and the nucleus moving forward, man, who are you really impressed with, man? And who do you really look forward to seeing, put some roots down and maybe move this needle forward with this franchise here in a couple of years?
So I'm gonna start with the defense on who were bright spots for me with the defense. I know like we really been going hard on the defense. That last game, I went in, I said it was downright disrespectful to us as fans. It was flat out that last game with a potential playoff berth on the line. It was straight up disrespectful. I don't like to hear about how us as fans disrespect players. No, the players were straight up disrespectful to us as fans that last game, and I was thoroughly upset about it. But there were some bright spots. I'm with Derrico, man. The one player that they finally figured out how to use after they did some self-scouting, they figured out how to use Caden Ellis the correct way. The reason you brought him in here is because he got off the Saints bench and had 7 or 8 sacks in his first year as a full-time starter because of injuries. And he was getting to the quarterback, not running around covering folks, not running down the field with tight ends or trying to chase running backs on wheel routes. He was getting to the quarterback, and they finally figured out how to use him. Now, we do need more speed at linebacker. We're going to have to surround him with more speed, more side to side. Let's bring in some more speed like what we used to have in Devondre Campbell, but we used to have in Deion Jones, maybe bigger than Deion, maybe bigger than Debo, but some same kind of speed, and surround him with that speed. I'm not sure Troy Anderson is that guy because he can run fast, but too many times I see him running fast in the wrong direction. That's just my personal opinion. Hopefully the young man comes back healthy and he can continue his career because I don't like to see anybody fail, especially because of injury, but I don't know if he's the guy moving forward. I like Landman, but he's not a full-time person that you can build your linebacker core off of. But Caden Ellis, let him get to the quarterback. Let him help out with that pass rush. Then AJ gets a lot of flack, but AJ is a good cornerback. The fact that he doesn't get interceptions is why it looks like AJ not doing his job. Is why it looks like AJ is not a top corner. He might not be the number one shutdown guy, and every time we give somebody a contract, we start counting their pockets and counting their plays and counting what they should do. But I like AJ. You know what I'm saying? I really do like AJ. And we'll just go from there, man. And another guy that I was tough on, I know he only showed out for about a 5-6 game stretch, really 5 games out of 6 when we came out of the bye. If Ebiketie can bottle up those 5 games, if he can, and boy, be rich, no, we used to call him AK. I started calling him Starter Pistol. I said he was that man. He was the pistol on Harlem Nights. After the Tommy gun went off, you hear, pow! That was Ebiketie at the end. Pow! After the whole defense and the quarterback ran down the field 30 yards, Ebiketie helped make a tackle, a pile on that end. And you hear that little pistol, pow! But you know what, AK started looking more like a Tommy gun at the end of the year. And if he can bottle that up and bring that into next year with some more consistency, maybe we can feel better about some pass rush help. I don't think he'll ever be the pass rush guy, but maybe he can bring it in where he's one of the guys that can help and not just be the guy. Now on the offense, be rich, no, but I was tough on Bijan. And I never said Bijan couldn't play. I never said I didn't want Bijan. I was just telling B Rich, I say, look, I want to see special. I don't want to just see good. I want to see special. When I see number 7 out there, that's what everybody been telling us. And we had 1,000-yard rusher. We didn't get Jalen Carter. Yes, I'm a UJ fan. Yes, I wanted Jalen Carter. And when we didn't get him, you telling me that we got this special running back. Okay, well, I need to see more than just good. I need to see special. And I think this year, the man shut me up. The man showed me special. The only thing he can add on to his game, in my opinion, is some longer runs. He can start breaking some longer touchdowns. You know what I mean? Getting out there, getting them 30, 40, 50, 60 yarders and really, really taking over a game. But other than that, Bijan, man, he on point. And Drake, hey, man, he the only Falcon. Like, I got 2 Falcons jerseys. One is Matt Ryan and the other one is Drake London. Now, I had a debate with B Rich and our boy Spencer Neal. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure y'all know who Spencer Neal is. We had a debate. Spencer said Drake is a top 10 wide receiver in the league. I disagreed with that at this moment. I don't think he's a top 10 wide receiver in the league. But I do think Drake London is very good. Drake London could easily be what Michael Thomas was in his prime for the Saints. And this might be a stretch to some folks because he's not all built and muscular like the player that I'm about to name, but the way he plays on the field reminds me of a younger Anquan Bolden, what he was for the Cardinals and what he essentially became for the Ravens. That tough wide receiver, you just can't seem to stop him. He just big, he's strong, he'll make plays. He might not get a 50, 60-yard touchdown all the time, but he gonna get that tough catch, and he hard to bring down. Drake London is cut from that cloth. Now, once again, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't say he was Anquan Bolden because he's not cut like him, but he kind of plays in that role. He's more of a great tight end for the Falcons than the great tight end we supposed to have with the number 4 pick. I'm just saying, Derek on my line, Drake London plays more out of the slot, getting those tough yards, what you would expect your top tight end to be getting. The role they put him in this is what you would expect a top tight end. And then last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, don't let y'all hit the floor. Don't listen, ladies and gentlemen. It's all good, Derek. Come chill. I got me some water. We can cheers together. So look, last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, don't let your jaw hit the floor, right? One of the bright spots. I just talked about him a little bit. One of the bright spots. Yeah, I'm gonna say his name, but stay with me. Kyle Pitts. That's one of the bright spots. Kyle Pitts. And you want to know why? Because when I heard the end of the year press conference, when I heard Raheem Morris, when I heard Terry Fontenot, when I heard who they were looking forward to, I didn't hear any mention of number 4. That guy we picked at number 4, that number 4 pick, number 8, I didn't hear any mention of that guy. That lets me know they have come to the same realization we as fans have come to, that maybe we made a mistake. It's time to possibly move on, see what we can get, either light a real fire up under this man behind or maybe move on. And to me, that's a bright spot because sometimes you just got to cut your losses. It's like gangrene in your foot. Sometimes you just got to cut that thing on off so you can skip on down the road. You know what I'm saying? And maybe they'll cut Kyle Pitts off and skip on down to a championship.
Hey, man, listen. Hey, from your lips to God's ears, maybe they'll do it. Because, listen, I tried to get this man the benefit of the doubt, man. I got beat up by Banks and Derrico, and I kept trying to get this man the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, yo, he gonna come along. And Banks and Derrico was like, man, you just drinking the Kool-Aid, man. And I don't know what happened. I think some pundits called him soft. I don't know, mentally, man, listening to him talk, I hate to judge people, man, but he just does not come off as a tough football guy to me. Hindsight is always 20/20. Banks was very, very upset when we drafted Kyle Pitts, but it is what it is. Like you said, man, cut our losses, man. What can we get for him at this point? I don't know. Maybe a lot. I don't know. And it seems like too that like maybe he didn't want to be here. I don't know. Maybe that's not the case, but it just seemed like he just wasn't here. Like Drake, like literally came in, you know what I'm saying, and was like, I'm gonna put this thing on my back, man. And just you saw how he carried himself. You saw him getting into the little squabble there in one of the games, and Kyle Pitts was kind of just off to the side, like, yo,
like a little bitch.
Exactly, man. So yeah, Kyle Pitts, man, we definitely gonna have to figure out what they want to do with them. Be Rich, man. We coming up against the mark. I'm gonna give it over to you, man. Your bright spot.
Hey, Leo. Right before you get the beard, let me say this, and sorry to interrupt. Let me say this when it comes to Kyle Pitts. I'm going to tell you when I finally was all the way done. I was already fed up with his play. 2 things this season. Number one, when they made the switch to Michael Penix, when the man said, I just work here, and you got an inexperienced quarterback coming in. Hey, y'all, like Kyle Pitts is a little bit younger in real years than Michael Penix, but on the football field, he been there 3 years before that, man. Show more support for the man. Don't show that kind of frustration. And then number 2, like I said, call me the nitpicker. But when Michael Penix threw his first touchdown, Drake London shouldn't have been the man that had to bring him the ball. Kyle Pitts, you caught it. Why you weren't the man bringing him the ball? I know that might seem very small, but in my eyes, that showed me who the real leader is on that team at that position and who we should be investing our feelings, our emotions, and essentially at some point the dollars in.
Absolutely.
That was a good pickup there, Trey. Good pickup. Good pickup right there. Good observation.
Be Rich, man. Like I said, we coming to the mark, man. Definitely want to get your thoughts on your bright spots of players on this team moving forward. Because like you said, you feel like this is going to be something special. You feel like it was the 2016 season. Had to take our lumps. Obviously, it took us 7 years and counting, but it's promising. So tell me the guys that you feel like are going to be the ones to take us on over, man.
All right. Well, I'm gonna start with Michael Penix. One bright spot about him when we was in Washington, it was 4th down, and we had to have it. He got it, and I saw a lot of those games when we have to have it, he gets it, and I like that. That shows you something. So I'm super excited about our quarterback. That when you have to have it, he gonna go get it. Drake London, of course, he showed some promise. He's definitely a top 10 receiver right now, stats wise, and in my eyes. Man, Bijan Robinson, man, what a special guy. What a special guy, man. Like, just wait. I mean, I'm waiting for these 90-yard, 50-yard, 60-yard touchdowns. They coming, y'all, because when he's on the field, they gear up to stop him, man. They gear up to stop that man. And I'm telling you, man, when we get that tight end, like, man, I wish we could have had Jonnu Smith, man. We should trade Kyle Pitts for Jonnu Smith and a pick, man. And man, that will open up a lot for Bijan, for the other receivers. And I'm looking forward to seeing the guy we got for Ritter. What's his name? Donnell Moore. Was it Moore? Rondale Moore.
Rondale Moore.
Was he hurt this year or something? I didn't see a lot.
Yeah, he tore his ACL in the preseason.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he has. Now on defense, man.
Do you keep him? Do you think we're gonna keep him? I mean,
for sure. We gave keep who?
Rondale Moore. I mean, you think he's gonna be? I mean,
he's gonna have a shot. He's gonna have a shot. So give him a shot. I mean, we gave up we traded for him. You know what I'm saying? So I hear was he a first round pick? When he a first round pick?
I think so.
So let's see where that comes up, because it seemed like Terry Fontenot does evaluate talent well. Ray McLeod, Darnell Moore,
Mooney. Yeah. Don't forget we got your boy Trice coming back. So I mean that's another addition to the defense.
I want to talk about that. It seemed like every defensive end that we drafted this year didn't do a diddly. Hopefully Trice is the one that pans out, because I know Trey was super excited about him. Doug was super excited about him. And I want to see what he was about. I was hoping our boy I was hoping to see something out of him, because he was a second round pick. I wanted to see him do good. He didn't really do nothing in my eyes. Now, what I am looking forward to, man, is let's get some linebackers, man, like we did in 2016. Let's get a Deion Jones. Let's get a Devondre Campbell. Let's get a defensive end. Let's get a Vic Beasley. Somebody that's gonna be having a production the rest of his career, not just a couple years. You know what I'm saying? I want Vic Beasley 2016 to stay like that. You know what I'm saying? I think he got hurt or something. I don't know what happened to him. I want to see us address this defense and get some fast players that can cover, because I remember we was worried about Cam Newton at the time, man. How we gonna stop him and this or that? And Deion Jones was the kryptonite to Cam Newton, man. So let's get the kryptonite to all these running quarterbacks in the NFC South. Let's get that. As far as players that I'm excited on defense, man, I'm excited to see what Trice can do, G. I want to see what he can do. Hopefully he can be that guy, because everybody talks about him. And last but not least, who I want to see do, I want to see man, what we gonna do with Justin Simmons, man? I think he didn't. I think
he gone.
Yeah, I didn't think he really lived up to what he was supposed to live up to, man. Bates, great pickup. I'm not worried about our free agent pickups. I feel like Fontenot, that's his thing. I'm worried about this draft. Let's get it right, and let's get on to the playoffs, man, and go further.
Banks, what you got, man? And we're gonna wrap this thing up, man. I know it's getting good, man, but we got to cut it off.
I want to give a question for everybody. That's Be Rich, Trey, Derek Cole, you, Leo. Do you think the Falcons need to change from this 3-4, or do we need to reevaluate the players we got to run a 3-4? Because it seems like something's not working with the personnel that we have, versus maybe we should change the scheme altogether.
I mean, I go first here. I think that in this day and age in the NFL, I mean, 3-4, yeah, it is the base, but I think I saw them, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. There was a lot more nickel than I saw all year, especially with the way that the game has evolved and the way that it's passing. Because I used to see, I'm like, man, we got a lot of defensive backs out there. And I know a lot of times when I'm at the game, it's kind of hard to evaluate it. But I know at home when I'm watching it, 3-4 might be the base, but I think it's more or less that we're running a nickel package or more or less, coverage packages with more defensive backs. Now, I can't really get into the X's and O's of it, but I don't really think it's the 3-4 that we're used to seeing for back in the day. I think this is more like a hybrid between, a nickel, and then, if there's some short down situations, then we kind of have a 3-4 front, because it was a weird situation with this defense to me, but it looked like we were a lot more in nickel package and nickel coverage than it was a 3-4. I could be wrong, but I did see a lot of DBs. I saw, the Clark Phillips and all these DBs just trickling out on the field a lot this year. So I don't know, man. I know Bry is a defensive guy. They're probably gonna, they'll reevaluate some things and see where we need to be with that. But
because
I don't know.
We didn't have no linebackers.
That's why we had all the DBs in there.
You had to put the nickel package out there and the dime package out there, because most of our linebackers stayed in the hot tub.
That could be a way to look at it. Troy was out, and we were recycling linebackers too. Trey, your thoughts on that, man, with the defense and maybe changing things up with that?
No, I mean, I think they can keep running a 3-4, but the only thing about it, like Banks, he asked us the question, but he also answered it at the same time, which I can already tell that he has an opinion on it. He already knows, man. It's a lot of the players and the way they choose to implement the players. Like, meaning you got to get in certain type of, man, when we gonna get us a big muscle bound dude who look like he gonna come to practice and say, you gonna eat your cornbread? When we gonna get one of them big dudes right there in the middle? We when the last time we had that? And you're trying to run a 3-4, and then you're looking for some big defensive ends that can set the edge, right? You had a guy coming off a rookie year who had 5 or 6 sacks, right, before the new regime took off. For his rookie year, 5 or 6 sacks. You didn't see Zach Harrison hardly get any playing time to about week 7. Now, I could be wrong on the week, but trust me, it was not in the beginning. And y'all know, I kept asking, what 96? What 96? He made plays last year as a rookie. Why is he not on the field? When they put him on the field, no, he didn't get a bunch of sacks, but he affected some plays here and there, some knockdowns, getting in the backfield here and there. But they didn't know who to put on the field. This coaching staff, to me, the defensive coaching staff, couldn't figure out the best people to put on the field. So to Banks' point, I think they can run a 3-4. You got to get a couple more players suited for it and figure out who the best guys on your roster for you to run that. Figure that out. Put the best players out there who can do it. You know what I mean, man? Because they didn't do it. Like, the fact they didn't play Zach Harrison until it was a few games in, it pissed me off. I ain't even gonna lie to you, man. It straight up pissed me off.
Be Rich, your thoughts on that, man, before we close this thing on out.
That Troy Anderson, man, like, I ain't even. He just caught 1 touchdown and was out. Like, he didn't even play. I was disappointed. And the 3-4, that means you got 4 linebackers, right? You got 3 defense. What were the linebackers? Who was the linebackers, man? Like, I was pulling for J.D. Bertrand, but he's just too little.
Yeah, man. Judon
out there covering people.
Yeah, Judon, Landman, your boy who we talked about, who we gave so much praise to, Ellis, and then Ebiketis out there. But I mean, they had Carter out there trying to play line. He wasn't doing nothing. That dude was out.
Why is he even on the roster still?
Like, we had
why is he still there?
Playing linebacker, man.
Because he went to UGA and they want to say that they got a UGA player on the roster.
They want to go ahead and meet their quota, Derek O. They had to meet their UGA quota finally.
Yeah, they had to meet that quota.
And for the longest, man, I was thinking Carter was Fowler until we played Fowler. And he made some plays against us. I'm like, oh, that ain't Carter. I mean, that ain't Fowler. That's Carter. So I was like, damn, who's better? They about the same damn player.
Hey, look, let me say this. Arthur Blank, we talked about culture on here. If there's anybody for your team, check this out. We talked about culture. Next time you bring somebody in, tell your marketing team, stop giving kids and they dad darn chains, Falcon Dirty Bird chains the day they sign. Let's put more emphasis on making sure the man is healthy. Get that man to a doctor's appointment so he can be evaluated to see if his Achilles right. They couldn't wait to put a chain around that man's neck. They just threw a chain on that man as quick as they had his kids on there with chains. The minute I saw his kids, I said, what in the hell is this? They got this man kids on here with chains. What is this? Stop falling for the marketing, man. Stop falling for the marketing, man. Let's go for the wins, man.
Speaking of marketing, this is my pet peeve. I, for one, think part of our softness is our moniker Rise Up. It is soft. I don't like it. I for one just wish they would just.
Jericho is not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. I mean, and then you got Carolina with the keep pounding and the
that's not harder than Rise Up.
And I mean, everybody got their whole moniker. It's not going anywhere. I hate to say it to you. I hate to break it to you. Every team in the NFL got a tagline.
And ours is soft.
But I would say this, Jericho. With that said, had we been winning, it wouldn't been an issue.
It was an issue.
It would not been an issue. Had we been winning consistently, it wouldn't be an issue.
Winning cures everything. Winning cures all else, man.
I promise you it wouldn't.
And that's what I want to get back to.
No one cares about a moniker in Tampa Bay when they got Fire Them Cannons. That's the weakest one I ever heard. But they don't care about that.
Yo, Bucks. What Banks? What's their moniker down? I just went to the game.
Fire Them Cannons. Fire them cannons. Fire them cannons. So if that's their moniker and they loving it because they winning, they don't care about it.
Well, the only reason why they win it because
Arizona Cardinals got Rise Up.
Because we let it go. That's the only reason they win it.
Exactly.
Hey, look.
That's my little. That's my little thing.
Bear down. Let's bear down.
I like that.
Tennessee got tighten up.
Rise Up.
Hey, look, fellas. We are at the mark. Look, fellas.
Hey, man.
Hey, your old lady got that blue pill popping in your mouth talking about, hey, Banks, rise up.
And guess what? He got to take a blue pill. Sometimes he can't. He have a problem with rising up. Maybe the Falcons need a blue pill. Is that what the problem? What you trying to say, Jericho? Yes, Falcons need a blue pill.
They need a blue
That's a whole nother topic of conversation.
Or something else, or honey pack or something. But yeah, they need to rise up too in that department too. You damn right they do.
Y'all looking for some sponsors. Hey, look, we come up against the mark. Hey, Trey, be rich, man. We definitely appreciate you guys coming on, spending some time with us, chopping it up with the Atlanta Falcons, man. One of you guys want to let everybody know, definitely, because we already subscribe. We already know where we can find you, but let everybody know that listens to us where they can find you, man, and how y'all do y'all thing, man, so they can support y'all as well.
Oh man, Trey do a great job of that, man. Go ahead and knock it on out, Trey. Hey, by the way,
man,
get our Blood Pressure Birds t-shirt, man. I mean hoodie. Let them know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, y'all can find that at 285clothing.com. 285clothing.com. Yeah, man. But y'all can find us at the Water Boyz Show. That's TheWaterBoyz. That's right, boys with a Z show. You can find us on IG, TikTok, Twitter, you can YouTube, every single place. Facebook, look for us on there, the Water Boyz Show. If you're watching this, I have my personal app. B Rich has his personal app. And you see where it says one half of the Water Boyz Show. That's what you're going to follow at the Water Boyz Show, man. And I just want to say this, Leo. Leo walked up to me at the game, showed us love for the show. He said, man, I would love you. He didn't even have to finish the whole stay. I said, yes, I'll come on the show and rock with y'all. So I appreciate y'all supporting us, man. We support everything y'all do, man. Y'all showed us that love, and we want to get that love back, man. Thank y'all, guys. Leo, Banks, Derek Cole, man. Thank y'all so much, man. We appreciate y'all.
Yeah,
hey, man.
Guys, man.
Appreciate y'all.
Absolutely, man. Pleasure to have y'all, man. And like you said, Trey, man, it was definitely organic, man. And hey, I definitely see that y'all have a love for this city culturally and from a sports perspective. And when you said it was love, man, and you were gonna jump on, man, definitely, man, appreciate it, man. Because we doing it, we do it big, man. We fans, we're big fans, and we just want to be heard just like everybody else, man. So we definitely appreciate you guys coming on our platform as well. Derek Cole, let everybody know where they can find you, man.
Well, you know I'm taking a little social media hiatus for a second. Get my mental right. So you can find me at this bar in like 206 Misty. No, I can't do that. My wife might not like that. But you can find me on Snap. I am on Snap. You can find me on Snap, DJ K-Roll 6. And sometimes I get on IG just a look because you know it ain't too much commotion over there. You can find me Derico_Virgo on IG. And I'll eventually get back to Facebook and that X thing. I don't know if I'm ever going back to X. No, I don't think I'm ever going back to X.
Banks, let everybody know we still ain't got you an assistant, man. I don't know, maybe Trey or B Rich can help you out with some social media assistance, but go ahead and let everybody know where they can find.
Listen, I don't gave up with that personal assistant thing. I guess I'm not going to get it, but yes, you can still find me at BabyBanks80 at Instagram, or you can find me at Antoine Jarrell Banks on Facebook. Please don't be afraid to say hi. I will get back to you. The folks that's been watching, I appreciate you. Hit that subscribe button. Listen, you can also find me at the West End or somewhere walking around. Look here. If you see me, say hi. I will speak. I will not bite. I promise you. Appreciate you, Leo. Appreciate you, Derico. Appreciate you, B Rich. Appreciate you, Trey. And you know what? I'm just Banks, and I'm just here, baby. Always, every day.
Hey, that's what's up, man. Y'all can always follow us on Facebook, man, and IG at ATL3Style. At ATL3Style, man. You can also catch me on the X or Twitter, whatever they call it these days, at Southern Set. That's my own personal account. You can also catch us over there, too. We over there, man. We might not be hard at work over there, but we definitely see everybody, man. So shout out to all our followers and subscribers, man. Definitely. Hey, if you guys want to come back, man, you're more than welcome to come back at any time. We look to collaborating with you guys some more here in the future if we're able, man. But like I said, once again, guys, we definitely appreciate you coming out. Also, our partners, man, the guys that rock with us, Eastland's Woodworking Company, man. Y'all see it. Y'all know it. We will put the information in the link following the show. And also, my man Bocce over there at BEZ. Y'all also holler at him as well, man. And I got some samples. Derico, man, I'm going to just throw you a sample, man, so you can kind of get your beard right, man. And I know I see it coming in a little bit, man, but we'll try to to get it together, man. We're gonna make it happen.
That's that baby face stuff, you know. I'm not as grown as y'all, gentlemen. I'm sorry.
That's a lie. That is a big lie.
It is what it is. It's been another edition of the ATL 3 Style Live, man. We'll catch y'all on the next time.